Carnage and the forces of Null have come to New York City, and now no one is safe. It's up to Spider-Man and Venom to set things right. All of this and more in the pages of Absolute Carnage, issue number 2. Let's hop on in together and find out what happens next, shall we? Well, now isn't this interesting? For this second issue, Cletus Cassidy actually has full narration duty, and man oh man is he truly feeling himself right now in this newfound power Null has given him. And he's got about 1 million new cute nicknames for himself. The Red Right Hand of the King in Black. The one who will light the fuse on the apocalypse. The Southern Dandy. Okay, that last one was made up if you couldn't tell. Now, Spider-Man and Venom are still cornered, and it doesn't look like they're going to be getting out very easily. That is, unless one of them couldn't fly. And hey, wouldn't you know it, that's a brand new power Venom totally has as of recently. A fact of which very much surprises Spider-Man, but really nothing should surprise him anymore, especially not now as there is a legion of symbiote drones converting people all over New York. Eddie is getting down in the dumps as per usual, but Spider-Man, proving that another one of his powers is always being able to be positive and uplifting, says that they just need to attack this problem from a different angle. First and foremost, they're going to need some help, maybe assemble a team of people who were involved in the original Maximum Carnage story, maybe some lower tier characters who could use some tie-ins, and maybe together they could all mobilize better to try and protect the living people with symbiote codexes in them. After all, that's everything Carnage wants, and once he gets them, there might be nothing to stop him. Now, what of the Maker? He's working on the device right now that's going to take all the codexes out of people, but in his research on the current symbiote issue, he's discovered something rather interesting involving Eddie's ex-wife, Anne. Seems that she was missing from the big corpse pile in New York City, meaning that maybe when she died, she didn't have the symbiote codex in her. Perhaps she passed it down to their son, Dylan. Or, you know, maybe she's not actually dead, but this seems to be the storyline they're running with right now, and it makes sense. Basically, since he showed up, we've been told how important Dylan will ultimately be. Now, back over at the Spire, Carnage's base of operations under the streets of New York City, he's hashing it out with his brand new henchman, Norman Osborn, who still actually thinks he's Cletus Cassidy. In fact, his actual symbiote costume looks like the original Carnage costume with the thick black lines. Norman basically states his intentions to be the bad guy Starscream in this scenario, and the second he thinks he can screw over Carnage and maybe get some codex power for himself, he's gonna do it. Now, as Big Papa Carnage puts it, they're not the only ones involved in this fight right now. The corruption of Null has reached all sorts of symbiotes all over the world, from Scream to the other Life Foundation symbiotes, and, you know, basically any other character who could justify getting their own tie-in into this event right now. Characters like Miles Morales, who as we see right now is in the process of trying to protect Matt Gargan, aka the Scorpion, aka a former Venom, from getting his spine stolen. Gargan shows absolutely no love for the poor young man who's trying to save him and leaves him to get eaten by all the symbiote drones, only to run face to face with the original Venom, who ends up throwing him back into the fray. Arguably not the best idea on the good guy's part, because literally once he gets thrown back into the symbiote pile, he, you guessed it, gets his spine clipped. This now not only means the bad guys are that much closer to their goal, but it also means Scorpion has been crippled right now, so he's not going to be able to help in this fight, which means poor Miles ends up getting sucked up by the Horde anyway. It's a truly horrifying image to see a character so good-natured as Miles meet such a horrible fate, but if you want to see what happens next with him, be sure to go pick up his tie-in issue that came out this week. And it's on that note right there the comic comes to a close. So that was Absolute Carnage issue number 2, everybody, and most of what worked in issue 1 still works here. It's a cool horror story set against the backdrop of Marvel superheroes. Eddie and Peter continue to have a fun little back and forth. It's nice to see Kate's paying off all the stuff with Dylan now in this big event. But I'd also be lying if I said it didn't feel like this whole issue really only exists to set up all the different tie-ins, which, you know, we'll have to judge them as they come out. I know I picked up a couple this week to look at. Ultimately, I'd feel comfortable giving this one a 7 out of 10. Perfectly enjoyable, but really bogged down by a lot of external forces, as event stories like this tend to be. Hey there everyone, Kate Joel again, and I just want to thank you so much for watching to the end of the video. It means a lot to me. And hey, if you enjoyed the book I covered in this issue and want some comics of your own, might I recommend Book Depository? It's my #1 place for shopping for comic book trades. You get a great price, and if you use my link down in the description, you'll actually be helping me out at the same time. You get something, I get something, everybody wins, right? So until next time everyone, I've been Joel, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.